So I've had a couple of attempts at this, but remember, it's a tough subject, yeah. Especially when you've got somebody saying the following under fair use.
We should also be honest that perhaps the most obvious impact on all of us will be the cost of building this resilience. Sons and daughters, colleagues, veterans will all have a part to play, to build, to serve, and if necessary, to fight. And more families will know what sacrifice for our nation means. That's why it's so important that we do explain the changing threat and the need to stay ahead of it. It should also be...
Now, I've got a number of problems with this, not least of which the lack of people reading authors like Anthony Sutton, because my God, he nailed it to the fucking wall with Wall Street and the Bolshevik Revolution, and you absolutely should read that. Or, at the very least, Wall Street and the Rise of Hitler. You should also think about, well, how the hell did suddenly communist China become so phenomenal in so many decades? Blah, blah, blah. Guess what? There's a common denominator. Western sponsorship. There is not a country in the world that's not masonically controlled, although Sutton, I would argue, went out his way not to drop that one as a hint. Or maybe he didn't actually realise that was a common denominator. But I promise you, his work is phenomenal. Yeah, phenomenal. Yeah, because when you're hearing, when you're hearing things like that, and the colour purple, yeah, again. Yeah, have you noticed in the UK, when politicians, especially in the Scottish Parliament, are talking about, well, we need to do more with less and, whatever, and everybody else's concerns except, well, native Scots are a priority, the colour purple is either in the background, the foreground, you've got channels, Channel 4, whatever else, but the colour purple. I'm sure some of you out there may possibly think of I haven't looked into it, but there's maybe a religion out there where the colour purple is, well, prominent, and maybe that is the subliminal, the connection, whatever, but yeah, that, I'll tell you one thing, it does tie into eugenics, because I can promise you, the dinghy surfers, the refugees, and whoever else who are priority number one in every queue, they'll not be in that line. They'll not be fighting for king and country. Not a chance. So this is the continual destruction of Western civilization based on, well, the likelihood that he's not a fucking Mason. Seriously, they cannot even protect their own borders. That was my one comment. You can't even defend our borders. Yeah, seriously. We live in a Masonic world, and the sooner people realise this, the better outcomes for all of us. Yeah. Well, except those tossers. Anyway, I'll speak to you soon.